Tory Lanez was just sentenced to 10 years in prison, and this is extremely, extremely unfortunate. This should not have happened. I'm definitely sorry for Tory Lanez and to his family for all this that's happened. It's just so messed up because he was really fighting two battles against some powerful forces, and a lot of people do not understand what was going on with this brother. Okay? He wasn't only fighting a legal battle, he was fighting a battle in the court of public opinion. And it wasn't just Megan against him, it was a whole bunch of powerful people against just him. Now, he started to win in the court of public opinion. People were starting to get the message that he didn't do what they're accusing him of, even though he was put under a gag order or some kind of restraining or protective order to where he could not even talk about his case. While everyone was allowed to say things about him and say that he's a monster and paint him in a negative light and accuse him of everything in the world, whether it was true or false, he was not allowed to publicly say, that's not what happened, this is what happened. This is in the era of cancel culture. This is in the era where everybody turns against you and shuts you down and destroys your career and destroys your livelihood. They were canceling him. He was getting his music taken off streaming services. He was getting articles written about him in the newspapers and the blogs and all kind of stuff. You had Megan Thee Stallion going on TV and lying and saying all kind of stuff. And he could not speak his piece when that order was put against him. So he had to find a way to get the message out to people to let them know, listen, what's happening here is not what you think it is. And he did that through his art. He did that through his music and his music videos. Directed by him, some of them. Edited by him. The music written by him. Intelligently put together to subliminally get the message out that he's being set up. It was effective. People began to really see what was going on. People was doubting Megan. Even though she had the media on her side, the mainstream media, even though she had a whole record label with attorneys and all kinds of connections and powerful people on her side, he was still doing good. His music was canceled. He eventually went platinum in under a minute. He was fighting back. He was fighting back really well. But where he lost was in the actual courts. And that's not to say because he's guilty is why he lost. The reason why he lost, I blame his attorneys. Now, some people would say, oh, come on, you're trying to make excuses for him. No, I'm not. Let me tell you something. His first attorney was Sean Hawley. Sean Hawley worked with Johnny Cochran. Sean Hawley is a very reputable attorney. She left his case 2 weeks before trial and then recommended to him an injury attorney. She's a professional, decorated defense attorney in a criminal case. She's a criminal defense attorney recommending an injury attorney to a high-profile client. Like, this alone should be setting off some red flags to people. If you guys followed the whole Tasha K, Cardi B thing, there was an attorney named the lead attorney. And he was constantly getting on Tasha K's attorney, Olga, because she was not the right attorney for the job. They all have their own special areas. You don't take a criminal defense attorney and use a criminal defense attorney in a defamation case, is what he was bringing out. So how in the hell is a injury attorney representing him in a criminal defense case? This injury attorney don't know what the hell he's doing. There's stuff that he's supposed to be objecting to that he's not objecting to. That there's counter arguments that he's supposed to be making that he's not making. There's things that's supposed to be said that's not being said. There could have been actions that he did do that he wasn't supposed to do. I'm seeing a bunch of criminal defense attorneys saying, wait a second, he should not have called that last witness to the stand. Everything was up in the air until he called that last witness, and the last witness said Tory had a gun in his hand. Which, by the way, that wasn't what he said to the police before. If he never even called that witness, the jury would have been hung, most likely. But that last witness that he called messed everything up. The prosecution didn't even call that witness. He should have just stayed quiet. But he's not a defense attorney. He doesn't understand defense strategy. He messes up the case. Tory tries to get a motion for a new trial. The freaking Judge Hereford, is not trying to hear nothing. Why didn't your lawyer object to this? Why didn't your lawyer object to that? Why didn't your lawyer object to this? Why didn't your lawyer object to that? Ineffective assistance of counsel. The lawyer was incompetent. It's not that he's guilty, it's the lawyer was incompetent. The lawyer don't know what the hell he's doing. He's an injury attorney, not a criminal defense attorney. They filed a supplemental motion saying ineffective assistance of counsel. The judge not trying to hear it at all. They got a huge long document showing every single thing that went wrong in the case. Things that was done that's actually against the law. The prosecution pulling all kind of stunts to set people up, and the judge just didn't even. When you read that motion for a new trial, and then you read the prosecution's response to the motion, it's a very strong case. The judge wasn't trying to hear it. Motion for a new trial denied. Everybody said the judge came in there looking cranky and looking upset and looking pissed off like he didn't want to be there. The attorney's like, listen, this judge is not doing us right. Let's try to get a motion to replace the judge, to get a new judge. The attorney didn't file it the right way. Did he make the pages too long, or he did something, and he's not from the state of California. That's also something that kept on happening. The way that this attorney, Jose Baez, does things is not the way they were doing it in the state of California. The judge wasn't granting no kind of leeway with that. You could understand he's trying to speak up for his client, but there's just some little differences from state to state. The judge could have respected that. The judge didn't have no respect for that. The state didn't grant the motion to replace the judge. They're doing everything they can to file motion for this and motion for this. They tried everything they could. Now, even within trying everything that they could, they still made mistakes along the way. This is why I said his attorneys messed up the case. Something here is not right. Injury attorneys don't represent people in criminal cases, especially a high-profile case. This ain't Joe Schmo off the street. This is a famous person, Tory Lanez. You're supposed to represent the best person for someone like this. Not somebody that is inexperienced in criminal defense. So I got a problem with what she did. I got a problem with what he did. And the new attorney, Jose Baez, obviously he made some mistakes, but it wasn't as bad as the first ones that messed up the case in the first place. Jose Baez and the other people that he got, they were getting DNA evidence, getting this, he got everything ready for a new trial, and screwed, and you know, that judge, from what I understand, he wasn't trying to have it. The dirty tactics from the prosecution, from Rock Nation. Rock Nation is all over this case. That's not a conspiracy theory. There's people in that hospital that's connected to Rock Nation. Megan Thee Stallion. You hear Kelsey on the jail call audio saying Megan's team is there working on it right now. Like, they were involved in this. They were pissed off that he was winning in the court of public opinion, and he was winning the battle in the eyes of the people, and then they resorted to some dirty stuff. It's a shame, man. Now, looking at this Tory Lanez case, there's things that we can learn from it. You see how he fought back against what they tried to do when they tried to cancel him. They tried to shut his mouth and bring up every negative thing they could bring up to where he couldn't speak and say it's not true. But he found a way to tell people it's not true. Now, where he messed up was in the end when the actual trial was going down. He had a good attorney. His good attorney did some craziness stepping off the case. He should have gotten another good attorney. Her recommendation to him could have probably thrown him off. Recommending an injury attorney, he should have looked for another powerful, competent criminal defense attorney. Someone who knows not only the rules of criminal defense, but also possibly the state of California. But it's also, I'm saying this, but at the same time, think about it. His attorney quit the case 2 weeks before, after representing him for 2 years. I'm saying he should have did this, but really, who was going to take this case in 2 weeks and be effective? So he fought, man. This brother was fighting for a long time. Fighting against the record labels, people trying to cancel his music, fighting against the blogs, people writing negative articles, fighting against Meg lying, and trying to trick everybody into believing this is domestic violence. And people don't believe me because I'm black. Not people don't believe me because I lied over and over and over again. It's because I'm a woman. That's why. Women falling for it. Even knowledgeable women who's supposed to have sense falling for it. He fought against all that. But in the end, what happened? And he did everything he could to try to turn that around, and it didn't work. So right now he's sentenced to 10 years in prison. The good thing is he filed for a motion for a new trial, which enabled his current attorneys to already have everything together to file an immediate appeal. The appeal should be going in right away. They shouldn't, all that time that passed, they had a whole bunch of time to get the appeal documentation and ready to go. You're gonna have to be in prison for some time. And that's the messed up part, man. I really hope this brother makes it through the prison sentence to where his appeal comes in. I hope his appeal is taken seriously, because if you look at this, you see clearly that stuff is wrong. Missing evidence. This girl has said that she stepped in glass, then turn around and say he shot her in the foot. There's no bullet fragments. The police brought her to the hospital and were there in the hospital with her, and the bullet fragments go missing. She has 2 different diagnoses from 2 different doctors. One doctor says she stepped in glass and wrote a note on that. The next doctor talk about metallic fragments in her foot. Who gets 2 different diagnoses from 2 different doctors on the same day? So once again, I really hope a lot of terrible things happen in prison, man. I hope this brother makes it, and I hope he gets this appeal. The appeal is granted, and he gets this overturned, man. Innocence Project, all you people that deal with that, please look at this case. Please look into this case. There's so much stuff that just doesn't make sense about this case. This man should not be getting locked up for 10 years. And that's all I gotta say, guys. It's the King Lemuel Podcast. Peace.